Got a lot of things to talk about, as you can probably see by the title. I wanted to start off with this article about Old Navy in Iowa, of all places. Of course, it would be Iowa, right? I mean, do black people really live in Iowa? But anyway, Old Navy is under fire for racially profiling and humiliating a black customer. Yes, shopping while black strikes again. So James Conley III was accused of stealing the Old Navy jacket he wore into the store, even though he received it for Christmas. He wrote on Facebook, "Today I was racially profiled by the Old Navy store in West Des Moines, Iowa, and Jordan Creek. I was accused that I didn't pay for my blue bubble jacket that I got for Christmas that I wore into the store. As I was checking out to purchase some of these, I was asked if I wanted to also purchase the jacket that I was wearing. First, I started laughing because I didn't believe what was happening." And then he continues. I'll actually just see if I can link to his Facebook. So yeah, so let's just read the whole thing. The store manager, no, I don't want to create an account right now. Get out of my face. It's not letting me exit, guys. This is ridiculous. I'm going to just go back to the article. But obviously, there's more. So he posted some videos, which I will play. Like, they are really investigating the tags here, which is ridiculous. And then there's another video further down. Like, this is just amazing. All right, let me actually.
And then she asked me to stop recording because they want to stereotype a black guy. You did stereotype. You can video, ma'am. It's okay. I'm leaving your store. I would never probably be back.
So let me just let me pause this one. Let me play this middle one again.
Please don't what? So I'm fine to leave with my jacket on? Yeah.
So apparently, they must have already figured out that it was his jacket. Let's go back to this one here. I mean, the whole thing is just ridiculous. Let me play this last one.
Said I stole my jacket that I came on with. They checked the cameras. The manager couldn't even come back to talk to me to tell me that I was right. This is like super ridiculous right now. Old Navy, Jordan Creek. Literally, this got stereotyped because of the color of my skin. They think I stole my jacket out.
So, yeah, that's basically what happened. So, it's February, and I like how this post also brings up that it's Black History Month. Yeah, he wrote today, blah, blah, blah. He sent his Facebook post, which has gone viral. So far, Conley's post has been shared over 130,000 times, and many commenters are rightfully outraged. What better or worse way to start off Black History Month than with the ongoing discrimination happening in stores? Although theft is something that stores need to monitor, it's not okay to do it in a selective way they did with Conley. The manager insisted on checking if Conley had purchased the coat, which had been a gift, and seemed to claim that it was the store's protocol, which I don't know. I've never heard that being their protocol. If anything, they should probably check their cameras to see what's actually happening. So the store manager, Bo Carter, was very unprofessional and stereotyped me because I was black. I'm sorry, I just got to make this wording a little bit smaller. He says anytime someone wears Old Navy clothing, they have to always scan that customer's clothing to ensure that it was previously purchased. So you're telling me that if I walk into an Old Navy store with previously bought Old Navy clothes, so that they're going to check to make sure? Has this happened to anyone else before? I really want to know. Where do they do that at? Every time I go to this store, I have on my same exact winter blue jacket. I have never been asked to scan my clothing and the previous non-black customers had on identical apparel as me from Old Navy, but was never asked to scan their clothing. He continues in his post. So, according to Conley, Old Navy store management then checked the surveillance, which revealed that Conley didn't steal the jacket. So finally, apparently, they checked the tape. So he says, then after they scanned my jacket, they tried to make me repay for it. Finally, the district manager, Shannon, who refused to give out her last name, came out and I made her check the surveillance tape to prove that her and her fellow employees were in the wrong for racially profiling me because of the color of my skin. So it sounds like this guy actually has to tell the employees at the store how to do their job. He told them to go check the security tape. This is ridiculous. Once she confirmed that I was telling the truth after watching the tape, she never came back out to apologize to me, nor did the store manager, Bo Carter, as you can see in my videos. Then he just throws in a whole bunch of hashtags. So I almost feel like H&M said, no one can do worse than a whole monkey sweatshirt, monkey hoodie ordeal with the ad, and Old Navy just said, "Hold my beer," pretty much. Like, what is this? Why would you let this happen? Apparently, Old Navy's sister brand, Banana Republic, is also facing a $1 million discrimination lawsuit filed by a former employee, which I wanted to get into, but apparently they have some issues. So yeah, Old Navy. I never shopped at Old Navy before, but if you did shop at Old Navy, I'm sure it doesn't happen at every store, but reach out to them. As I said before, this isn't a time to separate ourselves or to say, you know what, I'm going to just completely ban, or I'm never going to shop at Old Navy. No black people should shop at Old Navy. No, these are people. Some folks are still racially inclined to do certain things, and some aren't. I don't think this at all reflects Old Navy's stance corporate-wide. I believe they also have already come out with an apology. Let's see if they did. Let's see, Old Navy racial profile apology, because I'm pretty sure they did already come out with something. So it says that they fired 3 Iowa employees. They're probing for racial profiling. Let's see if I can open this article from the online register. So yeah, let's see what they say. During a press conference held at his attorney's office in Des Moines, James Conley III.
You see it all the time.
Just going to pause that for now. We'll read it later. So during a press conference held at his attorney's office in Des Moines, James Conley III describes what the encounter felt like as store employees accused him of trying to steal a jacket he wore into the store. Old Navy has fired 3 employees involved in the incident that led a man to say he was racially profiled at the store's Jordan Creek location in Iowa. James Conley III, age 29, shared a series of videos on Facebook showing a West Des Moines Old Navy employee accusing him of stealing a jacket, sparking outrage. The post has been shared more than 148,000 times on Facebook, and a post Saturday on the company's Facebook page. The store apologized to Conley by name. They said the situation, I'll just read the whole thing here. Earlier this week, an Old Navy customer, James Conley III, had an unacceptable experience in our Jordan Creek, Iowa store. The situation was a violation of our policies and values, and we apologize to both Mr. Conley and to those we've disappointed. All of our customers deserve to be treated with respect. Following a thorough investigation of the incident, 3 employees who were involved have been terminated. We take this matter and every conversation seriously. Old Navy is committed to ensuring that our stores are an environment where everyone feels welcome. And to that I say great, but I also want to know, there has to be something in their guidebooks that says, hey, if someone's wearing, Old Navy attire, make sure that they bought it. I mean, there's got to be something in there. These store employees, all 3 of them, would not have acted if there wasn't something in those corporate training guides that didn't prompt them to actually want to look into it, unless they just really, really felt convicted to check this guy out in particularly. So I'm glad, Old Navy came out and did what they did. It says Gap Inc., which owns Old Navy, says in its Customer Bill of Rights, published at gapinc.com, that profiling is an unacceptable practice and will not be tolerated. And that's great. However, there must be something. 3 employees aren't going to do that, but I don't know. I'll wait to see if there's anything else written about this. So that's the first story I wanted to talk about. The second thing I wanted to talk about, which is just terrible. This is just ridiculous, and it's sad to see that things like this are still going on. But so this article, 5-year-old girl permanently disfigured in a voodoo ritual. So these two women, Rachel Hilaire and Peggy Labossiere in Bridgewater, Massachusetts, have been accused of burning and permanently disfiguring a 5-year-old girl during a voodoo ritual. This just doesn't seem right at all. This is crazy. Police said the ritual is meant to remove a demon inside the little girl that was causing her to misbehave. The little girl's mother requested the ritual, which is just even more mind-boggling to me, according to police, and has not been charged but is receiving mental health treatment. The mother is of Haitian descent, according to the report, where religious voodoo has been practiced for centuries. So this is a case of this is like old school gone crazy, because we always hear about old school styles. They beat your kids, do all these crazy things, but don't perform voodoo rituals on your kids. Like this just goes way beyond what I ever thought people were still were still capable of doing, especially in the United States. Now I could see other countries where different practices might still be acceptable, but I wouldn't think that this would still be acceptable, or people would even think about doing this in the United States. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So the two sisters who said they performed the cleansing bath before, and that children are sometimes burned as spirits leave their bodies, also threatened to cut off the head of the girl's 8-year-old brother with a machete. The boy said his sister was held down twice as the women blew fire over her face, cut her arm and collarbone area, and poured something in her eyes that stung. The two Massachusetts women have pleaded not guilty to assault and other charges. So let me get this right. I mean, this is crazy. They hold the girl down. They threaten an 8-year-old boy. They cut this girl. They blow fire. Like, what part of that seems right to these people? This is just pure and plain torture, and I hope they go to jail for a long time. And it's sad because this is the mom that wanted them to do this. Kids can't even trust their own parents. What in the world? Like, they're supposed to be the ones that protect them, the moms, the family, and they're the ones hurting them because they believe in some ancient rituals. It's just really sad. So, this is just a sad story to hear. So I hope that these two women, I hope they also put the mom, in some sort of mental institution. And unfortunately for the girl, she's been permanently disfigured. I'm not sure what the disfigurement is. They have. It's just sad that old rituals and practices are still prevalent enough in today's day and age in the U.S. That people would still think that is the right thing to do to your child, to your own family. Just crazy. And then there's the last story I want to talk about, where a gym teacher accused of assaulting a student who wouldn't stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. So we all know where this all stems from. When Colin Kaepernick, back in 2016, first knelt during the Pledge of Allegiance, not in disrespect to our servicemen and women who fight for our freedom. He fought for equality for Black people who were being unjustly attacked in our streets by police, by law enforcement officers. That's why Colin Kaepernick stood, or why he knelt during the Pledge of Allegiance. And somehow, people like Trump and everyone else who feels attacked by this believes that it somehow is an attack on our service men and women. And they also somehow think that they have the authority to, force someone to stand during Pledge of Allegiance. So this is just the latest story. So let me see. This is a quick 1 minute and 30.
A Boulder teacher is being investigated for assaulting a student. Allegedly, the student refused to stand for the Pledge of the Allegiance. This happened at Angevine Middle School in Lafayette, which is where we find Jamie Larry tonight. Jamie, you've been looking into this story and the allegations, so what did you learn?
Well, we talked to parents here this afternoon waiting to pick their children up from school. A handful of them talked to me but didn't want to go on camera. One woman said that her daughter knew Miss Smith as a strict teacher but has never had any problems. Two other parents told me that they believe this is out of proportion. The middle school sent a letter home to parents last night notifying them that Miss Karen Smith had been placed on administrative leave and a substitute would be filling in. Karen Smith, Andivine's physical education teacher, is considered a veteran of the school district. She's worked for Boulder Valley for 20 years, but Thursday she was placed on paid administrative leave. In the letter home to parents, the school's principal, Mike Medina, said Smith was placed on leave following an incident at the school, but he couldn't elaborate. Lafayette police responded to the school around noon yesterday and confirmed it's investigating reports that a teacher assaulted a child who refused to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Angevine says it is working closely with the Lafayette.
So I'll end it there, and I'll just kind of read the article. So 20-year veteran accused of assaulting a middle school student who refused to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. The teacher is Karen Smith, who until recently taught physical education at Angevine Middle School, about 20 miles north of Denver. Officers were called to the school around noon on Thursday. News of the school and the police released details. No charges have been filed. School spokesman told the newspaper that the policy is to allow students to stand or sit during the Pledge of Allegiance. And alert families, Principal Mike Medina told families that we have a substitute teacher at the time. He added that Smith had been placed on paid administrative leave and that they're working closely with the Lafayette Police Department. Protests involving the American flag, of course, have become a flashpoint in the last 2 years. Since then, NFL player Colin Kaepernick knelt during the national anthem to protest racial injustice. And I must continue to say this, to protest racial injustice, not to protest or not to disrespect our service men and women who have protected or who fight for our freedoms and protect our flag. This isn't a capture the flag game where, where we have to stand in order to, help our servicemen and women be successful. So again, I don't know where people got this notion from, but people like Trump and others that believe in making America great again have continued to push this whole proposition forward. So it goes on to say his example is followed by other NFL players, athletes, and sports, and other countless people with similar stances. Those who kneel see the act as a powerful, nonviolent way to protest injustice, particularly society's inaction when police kill unarmed African Americans. Critics say it is an unacceptable assault on the values and mores of the United States and its most potent symbol. Others in this camp say the protests are a disrespectful slap in the face to veterans of all races who have fought or died for American freedoms. And so one person goes as far as to say, I stand with Karen Smith. And he even says that he is the kid that I guess didn't stand up as a little unpatriotic punk, and that he would slap the hell out of this kid. And that's just ridiculous. Like, again, we live in a country where we have the freedom to sit or stand. We have the freedom to protest wherever we choose to protest, whether it be in a public venue or a private venue. And this is just being taken out of control. So I'm waiting to see exactly what this teacher did. If she did assault this child, she should be thrown in jail. She should lose her job. Paid administrative leave is not enough. You can't do that, especially not to a minor. If anything, you can ask them why they're doing something, but you can't force them to do what you want them to do. So for some reason, it looks like I'm freezing up here, so I'm not going to go into any more detail on this, but just ridiculous, just silliness that should not be happening. Let me know what your thoughts are on all these stories, on the racial profiling at Old Navy, with the 5-year-old being disfigured by her family's voodoo practices on her, and then this story about the teacher assaulting a student for not standing during the Pledge of Allegiance. People just be crazy still. Every day, there's some idiots out there. So yeah, the Old Navy employees, you guys are idiots. The mother and the family members that performed voodoo on a poor 5-year-old child, idiots. And then this teacher here, you're all idiots. Karen Smith, you're an idiot. So that's all I've got for today. I will be talking to you all tomorrow, Super Bowl Sunday. We'll see if the Super Bowl gets in the way of me actually filming. I might just do a live feed of the Super Bowl, give you guys my takes on how it's going to end. All right, I'll talk to you all later. Peace out. Bye.